Right, hey guys, it is Chris here again with another video, and in this video today we're going to be taking a look at the Smith Haven Mall located in Lake Grove, New York. Now yes guys, the Smith Haven Mall in Lake Grove, New York is now positioned to lose another anchor store at the mall. As you all know, back in 2019, JCPenney closed that store at the Smith Haven Mall in Lake Grove, New York, along with their store at the Hamilton Mall in Mays Landing, New Jersey. But now Smith Haven is once again poised to lose another anchor store, and this time it is a much bigger loss than JCPenney, and that is the Sears and Roebuck store located at the Smith Haven Mall in Lake Grove, New York. Now, of course, before we get a street view of this building and, of course, the Sears Auto Center, we're going to go ahead and read the article that was literally just posted by Newsday a couple hours ago. So, without further ado, here we go. Sears at Smith Haven Mall closing. Sears and Roebuck at the Smith Haven Mall will close in May after 50 years at the Lake Grove property. The closing will take 77 jobs with it, according to a state filing. The Lake Grove department store is among the 3 Sears and a Kmart store, which is the Kmart on 34th Street in New York State, that the parent company, TransformCo LLC, will shutter as it continues the store closings that have plagued Sears and Kmart for years. The 3 Sears stores are closing, which all have auto centers, include locations, like I mentioned before, Horsesheds, New York in Chemung County and Poughkeepsie. The shuttering Kmart is at Penn Station in Manhattan. And from all these closing guys, 348 employees who are now currently working at the Sears and Kmart stores will be losing their job by April and May, which is insane. So, let me get back to the article. A total of 348 employees will be affected by the 4 store closings, which are occurring for, quote, open quote, economic, close quote, reasons, according to a worker adjustment and retraining notification, AX filing, or warrant submitted to the New York State Department of Labor on February 4th and February 6th. The notices were posted on the state's agency website on Monday and Wednesday. Under the WARN Act, certain employees must notify workers and the state in advance of mass layoffs or site closings. The Sears at Smith Haven Mall will close May 6th or during a 14-day period starting on that date, according to the WARN. The other stores will close May 4th or during a 14 period starting out on that date. I don't know exactly when the closing day is, but I will call them all and see what they say. The 4 store closings that were announced this month are separate from the 96 Sears and Kmart store closing that TransformCo said in November that would take place by this month. The Sears at the Smith Haven Mall is an anchor store that opened up on February 16th, 1970. So if you do the math, and February 16th is actually coming up very, very quickly, that Sears and Roebuck store, has been there for about 50 years, which is insane that now 50 years later, it's closing. But again, as we all know, Eddie Lampert and Larry Costello, all these great, fine and lovely people, do not give a damn about how many workers lose their job, which is just insane. But whatever. Hoffman says, of course, comment. This just goes on about all debts and stuff. So the closing of the Sears and Lake Grove will only leave Long Island with 2 Sears and Roebuck stores, which are going to be located at the Westfield Sunrise Mall in Massapequa, New York, I don't even know how that store stays open, and the Green Acres Mall in Valley Stream, New York, which is actually now losing its JCPenney in about 2 months or so. So Long Island will be only left with 1 Kmart in Bridgehampton when the Sayville, which I believe is the Bohemia store, will be closing this Sunday, which is insane. So 1 Kmart will be left on Long Island, which is insane, which is Bridgehampton, which is out in the Hamptons or around Riverhead or whatever that area is out there. So, of course, because this Sears and Roebuck store is closing, we're going to have to get a street view of this store. So this store opened up on February 16th of 1970. So it has been here at this mall for about 50 years. So we're going to go ahead and start our little tour off with a view of the southwest entrance of the Sears and Roebuck store. Now, I don't know what store this is similar to exactly, but we'll start off with this little portion here right by the Smith Haven sign. So we'll give you a few moments here just to admire that with the Smith Haven Mall thing bombing in the background. And then, of course, we'll move on to here. So we'll give you guys a few seconds here to admire the southwest entrance of the building. So here we go in 3, 2, 1. Okay, moving on. Now, I don't think. Oh wow, these are really interesting lights that are on the store. This is kind of cool actually. I like the little like these look like ship lights honestly. Now guys, I guess this is the second southwest entrance. Now as I was gonna say, guys, I don't know if I'm gonna make it to the store to be honest with you. It's not because I don't want to, but this store from where I like live, it's about an hour and 20 by car. It's not the closest thing in the world. If I can arrange something to go. I'm not gonna push to go to this store because I do have to go to Livingston and New Brunswick. If I make it out to this store, great. If not, then you guys know why. So this is not a guaranteed, but definitely Livingston and New Brunswick, especially New Brunswick because I've never been in New Brunswick and I definitely want to check out that store. Obviously before it closes, at least in April of 2020. If this store, I mean, like I said, my semester ends in May, so it might be a little bit tricky to get out there, but maybe I can work something out during spring break. I don't know yet. I want to focus on the current stuff going on now, not thinking too far ahead. But anyways, so you guys get the point. This is the second southwest entrance of the building. So next up, we're going to take a look at the northwest entrance. This store is kind of interesting, but it's also kind of boring. It also has the white Sears logo instead of having the traditional blue Sears logo. It looks like there's a lot of these cameras too around the building. So, and then here we have the northwest entrance. That's a nice, really big Sears sign. Let's see. Can I? That's too far. And there's a car there too. All right, so we'll give you guys a few seconds here to admire that white Sears sign. The only reason why I'm doing this for you guys is because, as we all know, Sears and Kmart are pretty much done at this point. I feel like 2020 is going to truly be their last year of operation. I mean, now they're just closing. They're just going to close stores left and right. This was still part of another list, but I do think that the last round is coming sooner than expected. I think they just want to get this whole thing done and over with, and I'm not surprised that Sears and Roebuck is closing at the Smith Haven Mall in Lake Grove, New York. So I'm gonna miss these stores, honestly. I mean, I didn't really go to them when I was a child, but I really like to show off these stores because I mean, the generations that grew up going to these stores and they shop there and they spent many hours here. It's sad. It's really sad. It's a time that's just going away, unfortunately. So, but I mean, I don't think online shopping is going to be the full replacement. I think it is the future. I just think it's hurting a lot of people very quick, much faster than expected. I mean, think about it. By the way, this is the northwest entrance. Eddie Lampert never invested in the stores. He never invested in making Sears, a premier shopping experience. And unfortunately, because of that, because he's just in it for the money. He is the employees are now getting the consequences of a store not being remodeled and old and tired, and it sucks. It really does suck, and people looked to Sears, and they look to it as a great brand, and now in 2020 when people walk into a Sears, they just want to get out as soon as possible. It's really sad, honestly. It's just really sad. And by the way, I believe this is the only northwest entrance to the building, by the way. So you guys get the point as I was talking. This building is somewhat interesting, but it's not that interesting. There's another nice entrance here. Looks like they had a first floor portion right here by, this probably was a garden center at one point, I bet. It's still very sad, though. Yeah, this is another entrance, so I'll give you guys a few seconds here to admire it. A lot of these old white Sears logos, so a lot of them are now going to be coming down from the building and stuff. So, but I think Simon could really capitalize and redevelop both the Sears and Roebuck store, and of course the the former JCPenney spot. So they definitely have some opportunities to redevelop some former anchor stores. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Like I said, it could be very interesting of what they do to the Sears and Roebuck building and the former JCPenney spot. So it looks like this used to be a very small garden center at one point. Yeah, this is really interesting, this whole one level portion of the Sears and Roebuck store. Oh wow, look at this. Look at this corner. You got merchandise pickup right here. No Sears logo, but another entrance into the store. Yeah, this is definitely a really another this is another really big Sears and Roebuck store. Just a couple of trees over there, and then over here we have the Sears. Well, we have the dumpster for the Sears and Roebuck store. A couple of this is I think this is the waste dumpster, and then I think this is like them the store getting rid of inventory. I don't know exactly what's what. This is also the loading dock for the Sears and Roebuck store too. So we'll give you a few seconds here to admire it. It's a shame too. They probably used to get a lot of deliveries back in the day, and now it's unfortunate. It's just very unfortunate. And then I think the rest of this is just the mall. Yeah. So yeah, it looks like a lot of this. I don't even know. I think this is all. Yeah, I think that's all the mall and stuff. Yes, this is a really like large Sears and Roebuck store, and it looks like that there used to be an entrance and they blocked that off. This might have been some. This might have been H&R Block because Sears and H&R Block had a kind of a partnership. Is this still part of the Sears and Roebuck store? No, I think this is part of the mall at this point. Um, so it's still, it's very sad, but I think it's an opportunity for Simon to redevelop this spot along with the J.C. Penney spot in the next coming years in the new decade. So it's I see it as unfortunate, and just giving you guys a quick 3D view as I'm talking. But you know what? Eddie Lampert made a lot of bad decisions, and the workers unfortunately have to pay the consequences. But you know what? Out of all these Sears closing stores that I've covered over the years, guys, there's definitely a light at the end of the tunnel. We're almost done. We're almost there. We just need to get through one more round of Sears and Kmart store closures, and then this thing will be over. There's still going to be other closures, obviously, but thank God this will be over finally. It's a lot to cover, though. But in the meantime, we're now going to go take a look at the Sears and Roebuck Auto Center. So these trees are in the way, unfortunately, and I don't think I can get a better street view. So this is the Auto Center. Unfortunately, these trees are in the way, like I said, so I cannot get an exact clear view of the sign. This is literally the best I can do. So I'll try to do something in 3D where you guys can see the full sign, but again, I do apologize for not getting exactly the best view of the Auto Center. Maybe we could scoot over here and try and get the full sign. Yeah, that's going to be the problem. And look, this had like a lobby. Yeah, so I do apologize once again if this is not going to come out that great, and I can't really do anything about trying to move the camera and stuff. But it's still very sad that Eddie Lampert got away with so much, and now all these workers are unfortunately paying the price. So this is part of the Sears Auto Center. So we give you guys a few seconds here to admire that. And then we will scoot over to the Sears Auto Center sign. So fun fact, do you see all these like little spikes here on the signs? So the reason why a lot of stores did this back in the day was birds would actually have nests. They would actually lay eggs. I think that's actually a nest right in there, or maybe not. So what a lot of stores would do is they would put these spikes up on purpose so that birds wouldn't, create nests within the sign. It was actually very smart what they did this back in the day. It's still very sad though that this Sears is closing, but that's just an interesting fact. But But anyways, so yeah, that's a really good sign of that Sears Auto Center sign. So anyways, and it looks like they have trucks in here. They don't even have this garage open. You could tell that this store is definitely struggling. I mean, it's sad about the whole Sears and Kmart brand, and you know, as time goes on, it's gonna get even sadder with this whole company going under. You know, like I said, I would try and visit the store. It's a very far drive away. I mean, you know, it's guys, again, it's not because I don't want to. Yes, I did Hicksville, but I did Hicksville because I knew it was a once in a lifetime opportunity. I wouldn't have done it otherwise, but yeah. Now I believe back in the day, I don't know if Sears has this partnership. Sears, I believe, had a partnership with Avis and Budget, and they would typically, so like if you walked into a Sears Auto Center, you could work with Avis and Budget to get a rental car while your car is being fixed at the Sears Auto Center. I believe the partnership has since been dissolved. I don't know when it was dissolved, but I believe that's what it used to be. Like you would go to the auto center, and if they needed to keep your car for, you know, a day or two, they could set up something where you could go to Avis and Budget and you could rent a car from a Sears Auto Center. I mean, I don't know why you do that in 2020, but I think it was something that they did back in the day. It was actually a very smart business tactic, where you would go into the Sears Auto Center and they could offer you a rental car if your car needed more than a day for repairs. So it's unfortunate that something like that is being phased out too. And you know what was probably even smarter? Some people would even just, you know, they'd leave their car at the auto center and then they would go into the mall and shop. It's really sad. I mean, I wish we were still living in that time, honestly. But, you know, I guess things change, and you just gotta, you know, think about the future. And it's looking more and more like Amazon is the future every day. And every single new store closing, I just think, yeah, Amazon's the future. But yeah, this is the Sears Auto Center. This is both garages open. Oh, wow. Look at that vintage exit only sign. That's awesome. I actually want to get a view of that. That is cool. Look at that. Wow. I bet that's been there since 1972. That's crazy. What a shame that this building is going away. But as I said before, you can thank Mr. Billionaire Eddie Lampert for making this responsible decision. And then that's the truck. That's the truck loading dock for that. Wow, look at that old Ford Sears and Home Central. They must have had Home Central in here at one point. So, anyways, we'll get a quick 3D view of the Auto Center, and then unfortunately, I do need to end the video. So. So you guys get the idea. Sears Auto Center, and then this is going to be probably the best view of the sign. I can't get any closer than this, so we'll give you guys a few seconds here to admire that. But anyways. All right. So you guys get the idea. It's a Sears Auto Center, so anyways. Alright, so guys, that's about going to do it for this video about Sears closing at the Smith Haven Mall in Lake Grove, New York. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you would like to check out the article from Newsday, please make sure to check the link in the description below for the information about Sears and Roebuck closing at the Smith Haven Mall in May of 2020. So, anyways, guys, thank you again for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed this video, and that will be it.